Hi, everyone, and welcome to Sandra Cruz Unfiltered. My name is Sandra Cruz, and today I'm going to talk about how ancestral trauma can sabotage your business. Ancestral trauma is truly a fascinating subject. It affects our life in so many different ways, and yet we don't know it's there. Because the last thing we would expect is that some ancestors from 500 years ago or 20 lifetimes ago, 20 generations ago, has an effect on what we are doing today. And yet, it's exactly what happens a lot of times. So today I want to focus on ancestral trauma, past life trauma, and the struggles of an entrepreneur. The most common issues I see with ancestral trauma in business is money blocks, success blocks, recurring patterns of behavior or belief, unexplainable fears. Things just fall apart before you reach success, or something always goes wrong. Now, maybe you had this happen too. Several times you were building something new, something you thought was so awesome. And right before you could hit the publish button, something happens and everything fell apart. So you never reached that goal. You never went over the last hurdle to become successful. And yet, from a business standpoint, you did everything right. That can be caused from ancestral trauma. It can be caused by an ancestral curse. It can be caused by an ancestor making a contract at soul level that still is valid today because it was never released. Now, money blocks are so common. Every entrepreneur deals with money blocks. Whether you haven't made any money with your business yet, or whether you have made hundreds of thousands of dollars, there's always money blocks. And going through the ancestral line, this is a lot of the work that I do has to do with money blocks. Limiting beliefs about money, or an ancestor lost everything they had. And so now money is a scarcity. And this mindset of scarcity is being passed down the generations until it meets you. Or it could be that they lost everything from one day to the next. And so there's this fear that money is never enough, that there's never enough there. And with the mindset of never enough, you will never have enough. Which means money blocks is not just an ancestral issue, but it's a mindset issue too. But the root cause lies with your ancestors. Success blocks. Let's say you have such a brilliant idea for a business. It's amazing. Everybody tells you this is so awesome. Go ahead and do it. And yet, success is not coming. That too can come from limiting beliefs, especially when, as an entrepreneur, you do everything right, you do everything your business coaches tell you to do, and it's still not working. That is an ancestral or past life issue, at least one. Then recurring patterns of behavior or beliefs. It's like a self-sabotage. That is a recurring pattern. When there is a mindset of lack, when there is fear of rejection, when there's fear of success or fear of failure. And it stems not only from us, but from our ancestral line. We create the pattern that we do fail. And then we say, well, that's how it is. It runs in a family. That is a classic. I talked about this in my last video. It runs in a family, always has a place of origin. Especially when it comes to business. Because think about when you go and start thinking of becoming entrepreneurs, stepping out of the status quo, doing your own thing, finding your own way in this world. And your family says, well, are you sure? Do you really think that you can be successful with this? Do you really think anyone is going to buy that? Have you thought this through? Things like that. And suddenly you start doubting yourself. You feel upset because you do not have the support of your family as you thought you would. All of this is trauma carried down through generations put on you. Now, with ancestral trauma and generational trauma, we can release that. And once we start releasing that, those links connected to the trauma will be gone, which means it will be so much easier to push through those limiting beliefs, to challenge yourself, because now you're free to do so. You're no longer hooked into your ancestral trauma. In fact, it will not be there anymore because you are the ancestor your ancestors were hoping for. Because you're the one who says, this stops with me. The moment you start clearing your ancestral trauma. And I can tell you from my own experience with working with my Akashic records and releasing ancestral trauma, it has changed my life. If you had met me 10 years ago, you would have not met the same person. It's truly fascinating how much our ancestral trauma is really affecting us. To give you an example, this is not ancestral, but generational. I had an ancestor who had a dairy farm. He was very successful. He had a loving wife, beautiful children. He was happy. And then the unexpected happened. His wife suddenly died. He was grief-stricken. He started to drink and he started to gamble. And one night when he was very drunk, he gambled away his dairy farm, house and home, everything with one hand of cards. That is huge. Imagine that. He lost his wife, and now he lost his home for a stupid reason. He gambled away the only home his children ever knew. They didn't only lose their mother, they lost everything. Their home, their comfort, their inheritance, their future, everything. That is a lot of trauma. Now imagine this happened 10, 15 generations ago. How long this has been festering throughout the family line until it reaches you. The trauma, the fear, the doubt, the shame, the guilt, all of that carried down to you. That's why it is so important to clear ancestral trauma, because we carry this burden. I used to carry this burden. Father's side. My father still carried this burden. My aunt, my uncle, they all carried this burden of that fateful night. If you're ready to find out what is looming in your ancestral line, I invite you to join me in my Divine Ancestral Healing Circle. The Divine Ancestral Healing Circle is a space where I come together with people just like you and clear out whatever is ready to be released. And the beautiful thing about this healing circle is that we will not just clear your ancestral trauma and the trauma of the 15 other people that I invite to join. It will be clearing for the collective. It will be intuitive conversations. There are so many aha moments in those circles because we're all in such a high vibrational space. And the energy is just amazing. So if you feel ready for it, my next Divine Ancestral Healing Circle will be September 23rd at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you look below this video, I will post the link to sign up. Remember, space is limited to 15. And I'm looking forward to help you release what needs releasing so you can change your life to what you really want it to be. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please share, like, and subscribe to my channel. And always remember, trauma is not a life sentence. You have the power to heal. Bye.